everybody, I am NicoD. Today I'm not back with an SBC but with a TV box, so the X96Air. So this comes with the Amlogic S905X3. So this is a quad-core A55 at 1.9 GHz, so it comes with quite a punch. This also comes with an eMMC onboard of 64 GB and 4 GB of RAM. So that are quite impressive specs, but the price is more impressive. So this only costed me 30 euros with shipment, so that's quite a good price for such a spec. There is no SBC on the market with such a specs for that price. So it is clocked at 1.9 GHz, so it can even compete with the Raspberry Pi 4 while it is clocked at 1.5 GHz. But of course, when the Raspberry Pi 4 is clocked to 2 GHz, then it can't compete anymore. This is very power efficient. That is amazing. This SoC is really great. This SoC doesn't consume much, and that also means that the heat characteristics are very good for this. So this SoC is closed into this box, so it cannot breathe, but still you can use it maxed out while it doesn't go too high. It does go to 86 degrees while maxed out for a very long time, but it doesn't go any higher. There isn't an SBC with this SoC on the market yet. There is a Cadasfim 3 Lite which has got a very alike SoC, but it isn't the same SoC. It's the Y3 instead of the X3. So this runs Android, of course. It is a TV box. I don't like Android. Android is way too commercial. Everything you do in Android you have to pay for it, or you have to pay with your data, and I don't like that. It does come with the Google Store. A lot of apps are pre-installed. The YouTube app is installed. There's also a Netflix app installed. I don't have Netflix, so I couldn't test this, but YouTube works at 4K 60 frames per second. So this is great to be able to watch YouTube at 4K 60 frames per second. None other SBC can do that, but of course I don't use Android with any other SBC. But most important for this, it doesn't only run Android, it also runs Armbian. So for a desktop experience, this is also very good. Of course, there are no GPU drivers or VPU drivers for this in Armbian, but for anything else than media or playing games, Armbian is great on this. You could use this as a small server. It has got gigabit Ethernet, it has got USB 3, so it is a very impressive box. I have got the Odroid C2, that was my favorite SBC, that's why I bought this one. The Odroid C2 comes with the S905, so this is an evolution of the S905. So this is a lot better than from the Odroid C2. So I will show you around in Android, and I will show you how to work with Armbian with this box. So here we go! So when we boot into Android, we get greeted with this window. It looks rather nice, I must give it that. So as you see, the YouTube app is installed, Netflix app, NicoD is installed, Google Play, there's Chrome, and there's a lot more apps. So for browsing the internet, this works rather well. It isn't the fastest experience I've ever had, but it does work very well, of course. These days everything can surf the internet, even a fridge. So for YouTube playback, it does play 4K at 60 frames per second, but my internet is rather slow today and it can't keep up with 60 frames per second, so I have to let it buffer for a while and then let it play. But I can't let it play continuously because my internet just isn't fast enough for this.
Gaming LAN rig, you know it's meant to be for LAN because it has straps on the top of it. This is the Asus Helios ROG Strix case. It's a case that Asus showed at Computex. They originally worked with.
So to play 4K video files, we use the KD player or Kodi. So here's a 4K documentary. It plays perfect. Also with a 4K display at 4K resolution. I love these documentaries.
The torrents join together and race towards the interior and the lowest land on the continent.
So the Google Play Store is pre-installed in this Android. I did install a few games with it, but all these games only work with touch. I'm no Android expert. I know it is possible to use a keyboard, but I don't know how. So that's it for Android. Now on to Armbian. So to download Armbian, we go to the Armbian forum, of course. There we go to TV boxes. And here we have single Armbian image for RK, Amlogic and Allwinner. And I am using this image with kernel 4.1. There's also one with 5.0. Almost every day Bobs creates a new image. So there are a lot of images to download. So just download this, burn it onto an SD card with Etcher or with Win32 Disk Imager. And then we go to the boot partition. So here we have the file unv.ini. So make sure it points towards this DTB, Meson SM1 Psi 610. This is also a TV box with a similar sock. With this one we can work with the X96Air. Only problem is that HDMI sound doesn't work yet, but I expect this will be fixed soon. Next there is the extlinux folder, and here we have the extlinux.conf file. We again make sure that it points towards that DTB file. That's all we need to do. Now to boot from the SD card, there is a button in the AV audio jack. So use a toothpick, press this button while the SD card is inserted and boot the TV box. After a while you should be greeted with the Armbian account creation. So the default user is root and the password is 1234. So here I am in Armbian. So it runs very well. It's got 4 GB of RAM, so that's plenty enough. And I also have got 2 GB of ZRAM. So for a quad core that's more than enough. So as I said, HDMI sound doesn't work. I am using a USB audio adapter for sound. So for playing YouTube videos it's best to use Android. So with Firefox you can play up to 720p videos well. 1080p videos start to stutter. This is all done with the CPU only. So this is normal that it doesn't play perfect. So they perform the same. The only difference is this one has got an NVMe slot. To show you how well this CPU performs an intensive task, here is a NicoD Blender render. Even after 20 minutes of rendering it only has reached 80 degrees. And it only climbs very slowly. It takes more than a half hour of being maxed out to reach 86 degrees Celsius. So that is impressive for a SoC that is closed inside a box. The SoC of the Raspberry Pi 4 would not be able to do this. The single core performance of this SoC is really great. It almost reaches 1800 MIPS with 7-zip. That is almost as fast as the A72s of the RK3399s. And a lot faster than the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, and even faster than the Raspberry Pi 4B at its default clocks. So as you see, the X96Air is a very potent TV box. It isn't perfect for Linux of course, but it is good that you can use it for gaming and media in Android, and you can also do desktop tasks in Armbian. Also for light server tasks, this can be good. But it isn't gigabit Ethernet. I have noticed that after I recorded the intro. So that is too great. But it does have 5 GHz Wi-Fi and it also has got USB 3. So you could plug a USB 3 gigabit Ethernet adapter in it. So that's it for today. I hope you all liked my video. Thank you for watching. See you all later. Bye.